Sent to Florida shocked, of course, to learn that a gator had killed a beautiful young boy in a lake right next to the Grand Floridian.
But you might also be surprised to hear tonight that Lane Graves' family has decided not to sue Disney. Matt and Melissa Graves say they instead want to focus on the health of their family after that nightmare at the Seven Seas Lagoon back in June. The family is from Nebraska and did not give a specific reason for declining legal action, but here is part of their statement tonight. Quote, "We will forever struggle to comprehend why this happened to our sweet baby Lane. As each day passes, the pain gets worse, but we truly appreciate the outpouring of sympathy and warm sentiments we've received from around the world. We know that we can never have Lane back, and therefore we intend to keep his spirit alive through the Lane Thomas Foundation." Let's talk about this with Whitney Boan, a Fox 35 legal analyst and attorney. Whitney, some people were shocked by this decision, but it sounds like the Graves family emotionally is trying to move on with their lives. Were you shocked to hear this?
I'm actually not, and you know, there's no price that can be placed on the life of a child. There's just not. But I have to say, and this is coming from an attorney, I'm impressed because this is a way where his memory is honored, but the money isn't being wasted on attorneys. And the family isn't put through needless and unnecessary litigation to try to find some sort of closure after this horrible tragedy.
It's fair to say that this is rare, right? You would think that a family with the opportunity to hold a large corporation accountable on some level might pursue that. It feels like this is the exception rather than the rule.
I would say that probably an exception to what we hear about in the media and such, but I think that this is probably a way that they're still holding Disney accountable. There's been a lot of press about this. Disney has obviously suffered a lot of, I guess, scrutiny in terms of what they knew, what their firefighters knew, what their guests knew, what other guests were exposed to being around the alligators and were in the same position. But I think that this is a way that they're not foregoing the opportunity to hold this corporation accountable, but they're foregoing having to go through the unnecessary grief of going through litigation when it's likely that Disney probably donated to this charity anyway.
Yeah, they started a foundation in their son's honor, so we know that we expect that they'll continue their work in that regard and probably get donations from several companies as that goes on. But let me ask you this. Is it possible that they made some sort of settlement or deal with Disney outside of the courts that we'll never know about?
That is always a possibility. They could have reached some sort of private settlement without there ever being any sort of court case initiated, where even if it was initiated, there may have been a private settlement. That could have happened in some sort of settlement agreement without ever going to court. It's possible. I don't know that I think that it's likely based on what we're hearing at this point about them starting a charitable organization, but it is still possible.
Well, we continue to wish the best for that family as they recover. Whitney Boan, attorney, thank you for coming in tonight.